And if y'all catch me slipping, please raise your hand, come off mute, and gut check me. So today is going to be all around foundations. So we are going to set the stage today with getting super clear on our style foundations, with our style mindsets, with our confidence and stuff like that. And I'm super excited because I have a very special guest to help me set the foundation for this week and just set the tone and the intention for what to expect for the rest of the week and how we are going to approach style, hopefully different than a lot of us were taught, or maybe a lot of us assume if we're not in that world, how we should be approaching it. And my goal is to help you think about it completely different in a way that feels super, super good to you. So let's start with a little fun because that's the number one core value around here is how do we make this super fun? So let's do a little icebreaker in the chat. It's all about foundations. So drop an emoji in the chat to let us know how you're feeling about your undergarments today. Is your underwear? Do we love our underwear? Because how do we feel good if we don't have on good underwear? Let's see that chat go, ladies. Mandy, I just saw your head go down like this. She's yes.
Not the undies. I wasn't expecting the undies.
True story. I'd sent an email. I don't know when it was. It was last year sometime, maybe even 2022. And I talked about holy underwear. And today it's like the number one most open email. Like every time a copywriter sends an email out, Mandy, that says like, here are some subject lines that will get people to open up your emails. I always think about that email. All right, I got to read the chat on this one. We got some thumbs up. We got some some power muscles going in there. Some blushing. Some I don't know. Some mess. Kathleen, I was just thinking it was a good underwear day because a good underwear day is like a thing. It's a totally thing. And when your bra matches your underwear too, like in your version of matching, whatever that is, because mine never actually match, it's a good day. It's a home renovation day, so I'm sweaty. That's great. Hey, our sexy style squad is here representing. I'm so excited. I only wear underwear and I wear skirts. Okay, that's a whole nother conversation that we're gonna have later this week, but we have that conversation in my house all the time around who should, when, and where to wear underwear. Oh my God, I'm laughing so hard. All right. Well, I think we set the stage with what to expect. So not only do we want style to be fun, and it's just around making us feel good. So I am going to teach out lots of design principles and style trainings and things like that. But and I'm going to say this on repeat, and you're going to hear me say it on repeat. But just don't forget, this is all about having fun. This is all about your unique expression, and every day is not going to be the same. And every person is not going to be the same, and everyone's interpretation of something's not going to be the same. But I do love to teach the principles of styling and the foundations of styling, because when we know the rules, it's so much easier to break the rules. And then to me, that's how we build confidence. Is humans are curious. We want to know how to do things, and we want to belong, and we want to be able to decide when and where we belong. And it's a bunch of right? It's a bunch of and ors. It's not a black and white. It never is. Unless your style is classic, then maybe it is a black and white. Look at that little style joke I got in there for you. But that being said, I want to pass it off to Sherry Lukey, who is here today to just help us get into the groove with some EFT tapping. Her and I did a session, I think it was in February, and it literally blew my mind. She's so juicy. She's so good. And today's giveaway, make sure you stay till the end, is going to be access to one of her tapping courses. And like I'm saying, like it's next level. I don't know if you're into tapping or if you're not into tapping, but if you've been into tapping and you forgot about tapping, you got to get tapping again. I don't know about you ladies. I'm just going to throw this one out there. But as I've gotten older, and especially as I get more and more into my 40s, I cannot handle the stress and anxiety that I used to be able to handle and or thought that I thrived on. And I've never been someone that has identified with having anxiety, but doing that work with Sherry has helped me sleep through the night, has helped me really battle it. So I'm a huge fan and proponent of this. So with all that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Sherry and let her kick us off before we get started with day one.
Thank you so much, Katie. And hello, all you absolutely gorgeous women. It is so fun to be here. I absolutely love Katie. She is just divine. She just makes me smile as soon as I see her. And thank you. Thank you for having me and being here. It's just phenomenal. So some of you might be familiar with EFT. It stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. It's more commonly known as tapping. I'm going to do a super short kind of explanation about why it's so effective. And then we're going to do a crazy short tapping because I want you to have an experience of it and I want you to get it. I want to get that stress response off so that we can have lots of fun and start to tap into that higher self. So I have a couple props in the back. You're going to see this giant green exercise ball that you can hardly get your arms around. And then there's that little tiny green marble. And they represent two really important things. This little tiny green marble is your conscious mind. The giant green ball is your subconscious mind. And there's a few things that are really important to know about it because it is going to influence how you're able to show up and how much fun and how much confidence you can have with playing with clothes, with playing with fashion, with just being yourself. So that subconscious is so much more powerful than your conscious mind. Like the size distinction is relative. It is just incredibly powerful. And its main job is to keep us alive and breathing, which is brilliant, except that it hasn't had an upgrade in millennia. And so it can't tell the difference between real or perceived threat. So as soon as you start to try to break out of an old pattern of clothing, wanting to wear something different, wanting to wear something, brighter, completely out of the norm of what everybody expects of you, that giant green ball, that subconscious is going to freak the fuck out. It's going to think you're dying because it can't tell the difference. And it's so important to know that because this is not your fault. It's not your fault that when you go to try to do something different, you're just like, like part of you is like, oh, I want to do this. And the other part is like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And that's what's going on. And so tapping is phenomenal at turning off that stress response, at basically sending a signal to the subconscious going, you know what, actually, we're not going to die. So it's the other thing that's really, really important for you guys to understand is that it's familiar equals safe for it. So it's like I said, as soon as you go to change, it freaks out. But there's a really important thing to understand that it has kind of a comfort zone. It has a lower end on that comfort zone and it has a higher end on that comfort zone. The lower end is like when we're starting to show up really, really frumpy. And we're like, okay, I gotta up it. I gotta get, this is bad kind of thing, right? And so we kick it into gear and we get back into comfort zone. But the part that people don't know about or don't think about is the upper end. So let's say we start get excited about our style, start excited about our clothing, starting to feel really good in our bodies. And it's out of that comfort zone. As soon as we start to hit that zone, same thing, it's freaking out. Even if it's the best thing ever, even if you're like over the moon about your new outfit and so excited to go out in it, it's still going to freak out. So we need a tool to be able to soothe it so that we can actually get out of that primal brain, because that's what's happening. All that blood flow is draining into your primal brain and getting you ready to do 4 things: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And fawn is people pleasing, which is epidemic for women. And so we want to, we have this unique part of us, and we have this, like Katie talked about, our belong part of us, right? Well, the belong part of us is that millennial old part that if we're not a part of the tribe, we're going to freaking die. And so we have this 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake. The gas is, I want to be unique. I want to be myself. I want to show up. Maybe I want to try something completely different, and then there's this other part that's going, you can't do that. We're going to die. So I'm going to give you an experience of tapping. What I want for you to do is to get tapping, like Katie said. It's super simple. It's literally at the end of your fingertips. To do this on a deeper level, that's a whole nother thing, but you can use this anytime you need it. There's all kinds of YouTube videos and audios on you can just Google search, and if they pop up, just give them a go, because as soon as you start tapping, it's going to take that stress response off. It's actually scientifically proven now. They have fMRI brain scans that show that the limbic system, that primal stress response, is being downregulated, while at the same time, our higher functioning executive part is being upregulated, and it happens almost instantaneously. So what we're going to do is, it's a call and response. So I'm going to say a statement, and then you're going to repeat back to me while we're tapping on these points. I'm going to go through the points real quick. You don't have to remember them because I'm literally leading you through it. Okay. We're going to start on the side of the hand, and you can use either hand. Doesn't matter. You can switch partway through. It's a closed system, and it's super forgiving. So this is the side of the hand, top of the head. And just remember, you're tapping, not hammering. When I was first learning this, I thought if I hit my head hard enough, I could knock all the shit out of it. It didn't work that way. I actually just got a really sore head and face. So eyebrow is right where the hair starts. Other end of the eyebrow still on the eye socket. Under the eye. Under the nose. Crease of the chin. Collarbone is, there's the end of your collarbone has two bony protrusions. You go down a couple centimeters or half an inch. There's a little bit of an angle, and there's a little bit of an indent. And again, but don't get your knickers in a knot about getting exactly. It's the general vicinity is good enough. Okay. And then under the arm, straight down under the armpit where the bra strap would be. For those of you wearing underwear, for those of you not, it's about 4 inches down. You can do this one arm. You can give yourself a hug, but if that's not comfortable, you can also do the side arms to the side. Any and all works. These next 2 points, if you are familiar with EFT, or if you go on YouTube, you're going to notice that they're going to leave these points out. I'm always like, it's really important to include them. The Google world gets really, again, gets their knickers in a knot, because you actually have to get under the girls. And I'm just like, get over yourself. This is an important point. So if you picture your breast nipple and go down onto the last rib, that's rib point. And liver is actually the point that actually liver processes stress. That's why I'm so adamant about using this point. And then wrists together is like a perfume rub, or you can just tap together. Now there's a few other points, and these are the ones that we won't be using today. And you won't see very often on YouTube, but they're really important to use, because when you go out in that new outfit and you start to feel that stress response starting to kick in, you're not going to want to start doing this, because people are going to be like, what is wrong with her? We should maybe lock her up. I'm hoping that before I leave this planet, I'm on a mission that when somebody does this, they're going to be, oh, she's just tapping. But we're not there yet. So these are the points that you can use. And if you have kids, this is a brilliant one to teach them, because it's so discreet. So if you hold your hands in the traditional prayer position, and if you took a line and drew the line from your cuticle around to the side of the finger that's facing you in that prayer position, those are acupressure points. What's a little different is the ring fingers on the other side and little finger. And you can do these one of 2 ways. You can do one hand onto the other, or you can also do this, thumb onto finger. Now, obviously the ring finger is pretty tough to do, but the middle, the pointer and middle are really easy to do. And you can literally just rub, and you're starting to activate that soothing signal going through the nervous system. Everybody good? All right, let's give this a go. So what you're going to do is, first of all, you're going to take full responsibility for your wellness. And when I say a statement, you're going to repeat it out loud to yourself if you can, if you're somewhere where you can do that. If you're not, say it in your head. And if I say anything that doesn't resonate with you, as Katie knows, I have a potty mouth, and there's 2 reasons for it. One is I'm just very comfortable with profanity, but the other reason is that it's about stimulating the emotions, and there's nothing that stimulates emotions faster than profanity. So, but if you're not comfortable with that, and I probably won't use it in the script anyway, but you can just leave it out or change it, anything. Okay. All right. So nice deep breath. And I want you to just close your eyes and take another nice deep breath. And I want you to think about wanting to really up your game. like really wanting to show up as your authentic self and being able to play with that. And when you take that nice deep breath again and you just tune into that, I want you to tune into the part that's a little bit freaked out. That subconscious is going to start to kick in and be like, there might be this excitement along with the kind of like, oh my God, I'm not sure. On a scale of 0 to 10, 0, there's like no concern whatsoever about showing up in this new way and up leveling yourself. And 10 is like, holy moly, I don't think I want to do this at all. And just keep that number in the back of your mind. Okay, and then you can go ahead and open your eyes. And we'll start on the side of the hand. And as I said, you're going to repeat after me out loud if you can. Okay. And this morning I was writing out a script because I really wanted to get some really key words. So if you see my eyes go down, that's what I'm looking at. So even though sometimes I feel self-conscious about how I look. And say it out loud. Perfect. I want to accept myself anyway. Even though sometimes I worry about what other people's judgments are. I want to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I don't always feel confident in my clothes or in my body. I'm open to the possibility that I could be. Top of the head. Sometimes I feel self-conscious. Eyebrow. I want to accept myself anyway. Side of the eye. Sometimes I worry about being judged by others. Under the eye. I want my body and subconscious to know. Under the nose. That these fears are not a threat to my survival. Under the chin. I'm actually safe. Collarbone. I choose to feel confident in my clothes. Under the arm. Clothes are my creativity. Under the ribs. I want to feel excited about learning more about myself. Under the wrist. And I'm open to this process being so fun. To stay on the wrist. Because I know I'm safe here. Nice deep breath. And then just tuning in again. I want you to just close your eyes real quick and just tune in again and just tune into that, how you're feeling about showing up as that authentic self. And just notice if the number changed at all, 0 to 10. And don't worry if it didn't, you just can't get it wrong. There's kind of 3 things that can happen when you're tapping. The first one is the number can go down. Yay. The second one is the number stays the same. If it stays the same, it's very often that we're talking very generally. And how tapping works so much more effectively is if you're really specific to your emotions and your situation. And then the third one is that sometimes it can go up. And if it goes up, that's just an indicator that there's some more work to do, that you're actually starting to open up Pandora's box. And it's like, oh, I'm actually feeling there's more there than I thought. And that if that's the case, then once we're done with Katie, I highly recommend jumping on and finding some of those YouTube videos and doing a bit more tapping. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you guys for taking time out to set the stage and do that. Was I the only one that had my eyes closed the whole time? Because I tapped with my eyes closed. You might be thinking like, why are we tapping? Why are we doing that? I have been doing styling for myself now just over 3 years, and I'm close to serving 100 women, and there hasn't been a woman that I've styled, even the ones who've done massive amounts of mindset work, that come to the process without a style story. We all have them. We're all navigating them all the time because our style is the truest, most authentic physical representation of how we feel on the inside. So I think it's really, really important. And I really thank Sherry for taking time to do that today. So thank you so much, Sherry, for doing that. And, you know, and I share that because when I will never forget my very first client, I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Are you ready? And she was like, I'm terrified. And I was like, what? What do you mean you're terrified? And I just like real quickly learned, you know, there's so much that goes into that, whether it's our body, what we think people think about us, all these things, which we're gonna get into today. So let's share the screen and get this party started. Let me make sure that screen is sharing. You guys can see it. Let me move you guys over here. Let me get my chat. The chat is going. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad that you guys, I love tapping. It's so amazing. It is the best thing ever. All right. Let's get this show on the road. Are they gonna work? Are the curtains gonna open? Woo! It's day one. Welcome to Step Up Your Style Game. I'm so excited. So today is jam-packed, and I want to make sure that we get through everything, and I really am trying to leave some space at the end for us to workshop some of the things that we're going to cover today. So let's get started. So super quick, I have to do the intro in case you don't know me, or maybe, you know, there's some things that you forgot. Katie Allen, Lipstick Obsessed. I put that in there because lipstick and sharing my love for lipstick is how this business got started. Is when things were hitting the fan and I just didn't know who I was or what I was doing. And then the pandemic started. Lipstick is what saved me every day. It can be something super simple. And that's why I share that is style isn't about being polished from top to bottom. It can be something super simple that just makes you feel amazing. So I'm a lipstick obsessed certified personal stylist, host of the Style for Life podcast, which I am going to share some resources on that as we go through this week on to just really wrap this whole 5 days up to give you guys the client journey from start to finish. Founder of the Style Squad, woot woot. That's why we're hosting this event, is inside of the Style Squad community. And I'm super excited that you guys are here and that you guys get to have a taste of what that looks like behind the scenes. And prior to this, I was in marketing and advertising, branding, all of that over 20 years for corporate America. And the longer I do this, the more I'm learning to trust myself and to blend my favorite parts about what I love about marketing and branding and what I love about styling, and really help female entrepreneurs show up and blend those things together in a way that feels really authentic to them and their physical body and their energetic body. How I serve, just want everyone to know as we're going through this week, if you're looking for additional resources or you want other support, there's lots of different ways to get support around this. So first and foremost is one-on-one styling. So corporate styling, photo shoot styling, closet edit, shopping, you name it. I get this question all the time. People say, do you do this and do you do that? If it involves getting dressed, putting outfits together, getting you ready for your photo shoot, essentially just making you feel amazing, and the word confident is tied to that, then the answer is probably yes. Second, the Style Squad is another way that I serve my ladies, is with masterclasses like this. We have our quarterly trends presentation coming up. So if you like events like this and you're not open to one-on-one, or you're not at the point where you're craving one-on-one, this is something that's always going to be available to you. We do this particular 5-day event twice a year, spring and fall, for 2 reasons. Well, because it's spring and fall, and they're transitional periods where we're transitioning our clothes from one season to the next. But during both of those transitions, we're coming out of seasons that offer us personally inside a lot of transformation. I'm sure everyone here right now is starting to feel your real body come to life again now that the weather is starting to break for those of us that are on the East Coast, and it's been freezing cold over the last couple months, and we're starting to see some 60s and some 70s. We're starting to come alive again. So it's a really good point to check in. And so if you did this in fall all, there's some new stuff and there's some tried and true stuff because it's been 6 months. And I don't know about you, but I learn something new every day. So come a 6 month check-in, like I'm a whole new person. And that's another thing that I love to remind my ladies is that we're allowed to evolve and our styles are allowed to evolve. And just because we liked something or even a particular style or pattern or silhouette, or I heard a couple of people that have already taken the quiz that were like, "Ooh, this is new for me." We're allowed to evolve, and really styles around permission and around who we are. Then last but not least, I wanted to remind everybody, again, if you're looking for more support on something that I say here today, obviously the Style Squad is open. So please, that's what we're hosting it inside of the community for, is to come and ask questions, connect, get all the support that you need. But I do send out a weekly video newsletter now, and instead of just doing the weekly podcast that has really direct styling tips. There are 255, I think, exact podcast episodes. So if you're looking for something, you can go search it in there. Chances are there's an episode about it, especially if you want some juicy mindset stuff around styling. We have shoppable mood boards, and I dropped the style quiz in there because we're going to talk about that today. That's what today is going to be about. But before we dive in, let's do our event commitments. You are here. You made a commitment to yourself to show up because you said, this is something that's important to me. So what can you do to get the most time out of these 5 days together? I know that you know that I put a ton of time and energy into making this as juicy as it can be. And I want you to meet me there so that this can just be really, really good and powerful. I am telling you the exact same things that I tell all my one-on-one clients, the Style Squad, everybody. So let's do this. And it's so funny that this quote was in here. It came up on my workout this morning, and I have a whole funny story about this. I will save it for another day. But what got you here won't get you there. And that's in terms of everything, right? Like everything that we do. And that's one of the things I love when Sherry says, like, before she does her tapping sessions, is to take full responsibility for your mental, physical, energetic well-being, because you are the power. You have the power. There's not a power above you, below you, beside you. You have the power. So to me, that's what got you here won't get you there. So drop your favorite emoji in the chat for your commitment to yourself for today's event. Yay, yay, yay. I'm seeing them come through. Thank you for the lipstick. Who's that, Molly? Thank you. The dancing lady. We got the fun face. All right. Step up your style game. Who's ready? So I am kicking today off with mindset stuff, like we talked about, and then we're going to dive into your style personality, and it's going to be fun and juicy. Stop worshiping at the altar of other people's opinions. If you don't take anything away from today, remember that you can never make everybody happy. The only person you truly need to worry about is yourself. And the reason I say this isn't just for the clothes, but I want you to use your clothes as this fun little mirror to find out where else in your life you are so worried about other people's opinions. If you're worried about when you go to post on social media, or you go to write an email in your business, or you go to ask for a sale, or to get on a call with a client, or whatever that is, you might not see it as much. And sometimes it's really easy to fall in victim mentality, but pull it back. And if you find yourself in the closet thinking, oh, I really like this sweater, but I'm not gonna let myself wear it today because, what is this person going to think, or what is that person going to think? To me, that's how we can use our style as a mirror to understand where our other blocks are in our lives that could be holding us back. And that is why everyone associates, in my opinion, confidence with our style and being who we are authentically, is because this is the foundation of our confidence. This is one of the first decisions we get to make every single day before we show up, is, am I deciding to get dressed? Deciding not to get dressed is a decision, right? So like whatever decision we're making, use that to set yourself up for the day. So that being said, really quick, before we get into our style personalities, I wanted to go through the 6 key style stories that I hear people say on repeat that are absolutely holding them back. This is, you may remember this. We went over this. I show this slide a lot because I think it's really juicy. So style story number one is that we're desperate for attention if we dress a certain way. And that can come up as us feeling like we're looking too old or looking too young. Style story number two is that if I'm dressing a certain way, I might not look like myself, and then people are gonna think I'm trying too hard. Style story number three. And if you resonate with any one of these, you can drop it in the chat, or if you're like, no, that one stings a little too close to home, just keep it to yourself, pocket that one and think about how we're going to use that one later. If I dress too nicely, people are going to think I'm too ambitious. I'm going to stand out too much. I'm going to flaunt too much. This one I like to compare to, you guys have probably seen the meme or the quote of, like, flowers don't dim their beauty because another flower is popping up and things like that, right? Like, you're allowed to be everything you want to be. And I hear this one a lot where people will downplay themselves physically with their clothes or whatever because they don't want to make other people uncomfortable. Not anymore, because you're giving them permission to really be themselves as well. Style story number four is that if I spend money on clothes, that it's irresponsible and people are going to think I'm drowning in debt, or that I should be investing my money or saving my money. And really, it's no one's business what your money is being spent on. And this one goes so many different directions, but this is one I think personally that fashion, and this is going to be a really big, bold statement here. I think fashion, the beauty industry, has been used to vilify and to hold women back for lots of years by doing things like this. No guy would ever walk up to another guy and be like, oh, you have a nice pair of shoes on. Did you pay your mortgage this month? No, right? That's a nice set of golf clubs. Did you pay your mortgage this month? No, it's no one's business. And there's lots of ways that we can, buy our clothing. There's lots of ways to swap. We can rent, we can thrift. There's so many things, but I know that's a story that comes up quite a bit. And it could be reverse to that. It could also be, I feel guilty when I spend money on myself, right? It's not always like I get this. That's just one side of it that's come up. But it could also be, I can't spend money on myself, but I will spend money like on my kids, on other people, like whatever that looks like. So all of these can have slight variations. Style story number five is if I show off my style or if I let my style shine through, it means I'm not intelligent. And I know that you guys have heard this one, especially if you have a sister. There's always the pretty one, and then there's the smart one, and God forbid, can you be both? Okay, so I know that that's one that has come up in my family, and not just necessarily with me and my sister, but within cousins and things like that. So maybe that's one that resonates, that we're going to let go, that we're going to start tapping on. And then last but not least, and this is one I think that every single person here probably struggled with at some point, is that I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to get dressed. It takes too much time. And to me, that story means that we're not prioritizing ourself in other ways. To me, getting dressed and feeling good is self-care, because it's not about you getting dressed for other people. They do benefit from you getting dressed, because what happens when you get dressed in a way that makes you feel really, really good is that you feel really, really good, and you're confident, and your productivity level is higher, and you smile, and you're holding the door for people, and you have more patience, whatever that looks like. So those people are going to benefit from that anyway. That's why I think getting dressed every way in a way that feels really authentic and connected to you is self-care, because we're saying, this takes me 5 to 10 minutes, and hopefully some of the things that we go through, my intention with everything that we go through this week is to make that super easy. So today we're going to really dive into style personalities and how those show up. Then tomorrow we're going to do some body shape stuff. Then we're going to get into how to create outfits so we can mix and match like stylist ninjas. And then we're going to do like our branded capsule, like having capsule wardrobe. And I want to share my point of view on what capsule wardrobes can be and how they can look, because sometimes I feel like they can be, what's the word, like putting ourselves in a box. And I've kicked off this whole thing saying, like, I want to give you the rules and I want to tell you how to break the rules. And I just wanted to look at this whole industry different than you've ever looked at it before. Okay, I want you to look at this as a way to just like art on your body. Like, your body is the canvas, and the clothes, the makeup, the hair, the nail polish, the jewelry is all the different ways you can paint it. It's the colored pencils, it's the paint brushes, it's the watercolors, like, and you get to decide what's your favorite way to bring that art to life. Yes, there's a little bit of science to it, but I do think there's a lot of art to it. And for me, it's all about the energetics. So at any point, always just pause and ask yourself, like, how do I want to feel? All right. Give me the rules and how to break the rules. The Stylist Ninja. Thank you. Um, Thank you guys so much for dropping in what your style stories are. I think at any point, and the reason I share this again is at any point, I think we can change depending on what's going on in our lives, right? Like if anyone was here early and like we were talking to Emma about being postpartum, the not enough time story is going to feel so much more relevant than it does to someone like me who's got 11-year-old and a 15-year-old. If I tell myself I don't have time, that's not true because now I'm like, what am I doing with all my time? So like those stories can change depending on where we're at in our lives. So thank you guys for sharing your style stories. And let's get in to some real juice now that we're at 1:36. Why is time going by so quick? Okay, so what is my style? Everyone who has taken my style quiz, thank you so much. Remilia, do you have the link? If you could drop that in the chat, that would be amazing. If you haven't taken the style quiz, please go take it. I've changed it. Even if you've taken it before Friday, I think maybe I finished it on Friday. Please go take it. If you've worked with me one-on-one, chances are you have taken this. This is my original OG style quiz that I had as a PDF that I actually had on paper that someone had gifted to me in a Word document when I first started my business. One of my retired style mentors here locally. And I'm sharing this story because as business owners, I think we all have this journey a little bit. Then I was like, it's not good enough. And I updated it and I did this other cool new interactive quiz. And then it came back to me and I was like, you know what? Someone asked me a very pointed question about the new quiz. And I was like, you know what? It's not how I need to go back to what really, really works for me. So I'm super excited to take you guys through this quiz today. So if you haven't taken the quiz, please take it. The link is there. It's going to take just a few minutes. You can even do it right now if you want to, or you can wait. I'm trying to hold some space at the end of this call for everybody to spend a few minutes on this before we pull our winner for the day. But I wanted to break it down. So when you take the quiz, you're going to have 5 major style archetypes. Yes, there's lots of different styles that aren't being shown here, right? Like you have boho and there's probably like a preppy that's not up here. But these are the 5 major archetypes that I think each one of these can kind of branches out, right? To me, like preppy is going to fall under classic and boho follows under romantic, and then alluring falls under dramatic, and then the like world influence vibe falls under creative. Like there's all these ways that it branches out, but I think when we have 5 major ones, it's easier for us to be like, okay, so these are the 5, and then where do I really fall into this? So the biggest change on this quiz, because this, you might be thinking, but Katie, that is the original quiz. That is the original quiz. But where I dropped the ball between sharing this out publicly and sharing it one-on-one is that I actually always use my clients' top 3 style results. So when you go through and you take the quiz, at the end of it, it's going to give you your top 3 style results. Now this is one I ran through really quick. This isn't my real one. So, okay, I'm starting to see it. 20% creative, yes. Casual, romantic, creative, yes. So this is where the juice really is. I want you guys to look at those. I want you to pay attention to your percentages, and that is how you need to think about when you are planning outfits. I love that you had 38% classic and 38% casual because it's like so perfectly balanced, Sherry. Super juicy. Okay, you guys are just making me so excited. Okay, so you're going to take those top 3 results and I want you to think about them as like your style squad, right? Your favorite trio. There's lots of favorite trios. These are just the 3 that came to mind for me. I'm laughing because you guys know I'm a huge Beyonce fan. And like, let's be honest, like who really wants to be Michelle? Nobody, but she has a place. And I feel awful saying that, but she has a place, right? But we all know Beyonce could be Beyonce by herself, but Destiny's Child is still Destiny's Child. And they bring a different energy when they're all together. For some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just who I am, but Clueless always comes to mind when I think of trios or when I just think of like fashion analogies, because I don't know, because who didn't want like the digital closet thing? And I feel like we kind of have it now. It's almost like the Jetsons a little bit. And then Friends. So Friends was the analogy that the person that asked me the very pointed question of like, this doesn't make sense to me. What do I do? They took the original quiz and they were like, I got this chic minimalism, but what do I do with my rock band tees? And what do I do with, I can't remember the other thing she said, but like, what do I do with my loafers? Like, they don't fall under this category. And I was like, damn it, Katie, you're doing it wrong, right? Like, just do it the way that you know to do it. So you take your top 3 results, and I want you to think of them as your favorite trio, right? Every good show, every good movie always has the main character and then they have their sidekicks. And you could think of this as like so many different things, so many different Charlie's Angels, the Plastics, like whatever, whoever comes up for you in these trios. Like, yes, the main character could be your favorite, but without the other two, it's just not as juicy. And your style is the exact same way. And that's why I wanted you guys to go back and get those results so you can kind of see who's your main character energy. So style result number 1. Now this is my real one. I use this one as myself, and I picked casual first as style result number 1 as the foundation, because I do think that as a modern day society, we're really casual, meaning if you've watched any, like Bridgerton or any shows like that recently, like we don't get our clothes made to order at, the modiste anymore, and everything's off the rack now. And like, we really are a casual society. And then you enter COVID and I mean, hey, right now we're on Zoom and half of us probably don't even have on underwear. Okay. We established that when we started. We are a casual society. So I chose casual first. So casual, or whoever your style result number 1 is, please insert it in here, but we're going to start with this one first. This is your foundation. This is your main character energy. When you go to create your outfit formulas, this is your number 1 style result. This is your go-to. This is the person that always has your back, that no matter what, you are going to feel like yourself, right? This is the one that should always exude the most vibe. But we all know that whether it's the sides of our personality or the roles that we play in life, we're so multi-dimensional. So then you're going to take result number 2, right? And now you are going to blend these together. And so this is what I'm calling now like your style sidekicks, like essentially your squad, right? So if you're casual and then you add your classic in there, when you go to create outfits, I want you to always think about it like that. So I do have Pinterest boards, so we can drop those link in the chat too, so you guys can go check out. They're all together in one big board, and I want you to start mixing and matching. I'm gonna give you guys a couple of examples here, but so if you're mostly casual and you're like, okay, style result is number 2 for me, how do I create this? How do we add the classic and the casual together? So classic is a dress, right? We're just going to wear a classic dress to something. We've got invited to an event, or we're speaking on a stage, or we're doing an in-person event, whatever that looks like. And we have a classic silhouetted dress. Now, to make it feel really like ourselves, we're going to pair and say casual is our main vibe. We're going to pair that with, say, sneakers and a denim jacket. Okay, so we're going somewhere, we need to wear a blazer. Okay, we're going to put that blazer with our tee and our jeans, right? Juxtaposition is how you want to think about everything. This is what always works for most people when they're styling. A lot of times you could take this off your body and use your home, as you might start to see this showing up in your house, right? Of where you're mixing and matching. If you're going to plan on wearing, say, you got a silk midi skirt and you're like, oh, I don't know what to wear with this. Pair it with your graphic tees, pair it with your sneakers. You're just constantly looking for ways to mix and match. Now, there's definitely it doesn't have to be totally mixing and matching. So like this shirt, for example, I wore this for you on purpose so I could give you a really good example. These puffy sleeves, right? Puffy and big, they're considered like very romantic, which is not even on my radar most of the time. But it might be a little hard to tell on Zoom, but it's got a little sheen to it. It's black, which is one of my, colors. It's one of my drama colors. The fabric is really soft, so it feels casual. So I'm hitting a lot of my style elements with this shirt, even though if you just look at this silhouette, it's very romantic. The neckline's not necessarily a neckline that's right for my body shape. So there's different ways that we can get into this. It's not just mixing and matching our outfits. It could be within the individual piece. Now your mind be like, Katie, I just want the outfit formula, but I just want to open it up to you because it's not always that simple. And it could be your hair, your lipstick, your jewelry. So let's talk about that. So style result number 3, how do we use her? So now we're casual all the time. We like our classic colors. We like our classic shapes, our classic patterns. Maybe we don't like patterns, which is really a tribute of classic, right? We really just like solid colors. But we gotta let our Rihanna come through. We gotta bring a little bit of the heat, a little bit of the drama, a little bit of our personality. Now, for me, drama means anything that's bold, anything that is. I also put sex appeal here too. So like alluring. I think of Marilyn Monroe when I think of dramatic styles, right? Like a bold red lip. So you get to interpret this however you want. So how do we do that? We take those same outfits, right? And then this is what I call like your style spice. And it doesn't matter what, it's not just because it was dramatic. It was like, here's, this person is our main character energy. This is our sidekick. These two things have to be together, but we still need that one little element that's going to pull it all together to make it fit like a glove. So that is your third style result. And when I say your third, so the one that you get the least amount percentage, but it still has to be there, because without it being there, you're still going to feel like something's missing. And that's why I try to give you guys examples of like it could show up in the same piece, like the same piece could do it for you. So lipstick, jewelry, shoes, belts, makeup, hairstyles, nail polish, I mean, you name it, if it's on your physical body, in my opinion, that's your personal style. It's who you are. It could be the way that your eyebrows are plucked, like whatever that is for you, the color of your hair, the style of your hair, meaning if you wear your hair curly, or if you wear it straighter, or if you wear it up, if you wear it down, messy bun, whatever that is. All right, now I've talked a lot. What time is it? It's 1:47. Wanted to take a break here, and we do have sorry, I haven't been keeping up with the chat. Okay, so Ramelia dropped the Pinterest board in if you guys want to go through there. And I wanted to pause here for a few minutes to give everybody time to like actually workshop this a little bit. I didn't want to just be like, oh, here's a bunch of stuff for you to do. So I was gonna give us all about 5 to 7 minutes. You have to leave at 55. Okay. So how about this? Before Kathleen leaves, maybe we can try to pop back right around then and do the giveaway, because I do have a really fun giveaway for you guys. So let's take like 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Is everybody have the link? And I want you to play around in the Pinterest boards a little bit. You can start your own Pinterest board and start to mix and match all these different elements together to kind of see what's really resonating with you. Or you can think about clothes that you currently own. It's really about the intention. It's really just the intentionality behind all of this. It's around saying, like, I know that this is what I like, and letting yourself remember, because some of it is like we forget. All right, so let's stop talking. And then I'm gonna let you guys play around on Pinterest, really write down what your style is, and then we'll come back in about 5 minutes. We'll open it up for some questions, unless anyone has a question before they go off. And then we'll do the giveaway. And I am gonna mute myself. I'm gonna come off mute and answer some of these questions that are popping up in the chat. Hold on. Bonna said, if I'm 80, 10, 10, how much weight do I give the 2 10s? Oh, it's so juicy. So I think they're just going to be sprinkles of things that are pop up. But Bonna, what I would really do is if they're neck and neck, or for anyone, I think Sherry also had one that the percentages were exactly the same. I would tap into who you are being that day, meaning what role are you playing? Who do you need to be? What energy are you trying to channel that day? And focus there. So if it's a light day and you have no calls and you're focused on being creative and tapping into your creative side, or you have to write or something like that, I'd focus my energy on that side for that day. But at the 10%, I think it's really just sprinkles. Yes, Sama, yes. To look at the Pinterest boards that are there, and you can start creating your own Pinterest board. I think Pinterest is an amazing way to start getting the visuals. It's social media without being social media. I try to give everybody a jump start. Julie, I'm so glad that this is clicking for you. Okay, so Laura has a question too. She said, my quiz said creative, and I probably said romantic based on the Pinterest board. Should I roll with that? Yeah, Laura, I think you're absolutely romantic. I think the creative part is when I think of creative, I think of natural jewelry. I think of bringing things in from different cultures. I think mixing and matching. I think creative has a playfulness, which I think romantic and playful, I think romantic and creative have that overarching line together. The playfulness energy, it could have been antiques, I think, show up on both the creative side and the romantic side, depending on how you answered the question. Oh, Daniel has a really good question. I have a hard time looking at styles that are not worn on my body type. Like, I love it, but then I would think that would look terrible on me. Danielle, do you know specifically why it would look good on you, or is that a story like for fact you're like that just wouldn't look good on me, or are there elements of what can look good on other people that you know could work for you? Like if you see something you really like and it's not on your size, but you know, like, oh, if I belted that a certain way or if I used a different neckline, that would actually work for me. I don't know if you want to come off mute.
Sure. Maybe all of the things. Because I'm also 5'2". So sometimes the length
Feet.
issue where it's like I see like the length of some things where I'm just like, I would either need to get that tailored or that just wouldn't, I like how that length looks on that person, but it would just make me look even shorter. And
Yes.
then some things are like, how would that, you know, actually fit on a plus size body when
Yeah.
it's like all the models that you see. Like I feel like my Pinterest, I love to. I feel like I try to curate it based on larger body sizes, but that's really hard to do, especially when you see a large body size that's like 5'8". Very different styles, like very different
Yes.
ways that just clothing can lay. So
Good
that's
point
where I have a
on
hard
the
time.
like it could be plus size, but then there's also petite plus size, and that's
Yeah.
different.
And it's definitely a story of like me not knowing how to style things too. Like maybe there is a way that I could take that style and incorporate it into things that would be more flattering or just feel good. I hate using the word flattering, but like,
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
Even
what
though
is
I
that?
totally used it for tomorrow.
Oh, that's okay. But yeah, it's definitely part of the story too.
So I think, and we were talking about this earlier in the squad, and hopefully Julie doesn't mind me using this example, but she was talking about she had bought something and then the neckline was different, and then that neckline didn't work on her. We're going to talk a little bit about this tomorrow, but I think that's the thing is when we see something that we like, what is it? And the intentionality is to ask yourself, why do I like it? Like, what is it about it that I like it? Is it the color? Is it the shape? Is it whatever it is? Like getting super clear on it. And then being like, in the past, when I've worn something like that, why didn't it work? And then what do I wear that does work? And then like, how can I start to blend these two things? And then sometimes it's just not going to work. But I think there's always kind of a way to make it work. And the other thing, and we can talk about this more as the week goes, is when we get things off the rack, meaning when they come to our house, that's what styling is. Styling essentially is how can I save this thing? Can I roll the sleeves up? Can I tuck it a certain way? Can I button it a certain way? Can I pair it with something else to make it work? And I can give you guys some other examples of, because I mean, this happens to me all the time too. It's not necessarily foolproof. Why I'm drawn to things, that's a really great idea. Yeah. Yeah, it is hard to see, especially if we don't live in this world. And I'll tell you, because I do this with food. I'm like, I don't know how to make a salad. Like every time someone's like, can you just eat a vegetable? And I'm like, I don't know how. I don't know how. And it's really just like slowing down and being like, okay, if I just get the olive oil and the salt and pepper and I just put it on it, it's just gonna work. And I use that analogy because I know that sounds dumb, but that's exactly how I feel every time my nutritionist is like, eat a vegetable. Like, I can't, because it's really just like slowing down and asking myself, thank you, Laura. Laura will make me a salad. It's really around slowing down and just getting intentional. So I like to use that analogy because it's something else we do every day. Is we have to eat every day, we have to get dressed every day. So you guys feel like this is helping, you want to move on to the it's 1:55. I really want to take some time to do the giveaway. So if you guys have more questions, what I want you to do tonight, your homework is to drop what you found out about yourself inside the Style Squad community. So showing up there, showing up here is how we get to win the prizes every day going forward. Is by participating in there. And one thing that I was hoping that we'd have time for, and then like it went a little fast, is try to find your style twin. So drop in the Heartbeat community. We'll start a new thread in there. Drop in what your percentages are again. And it doesn't have to be the percentages. It could be classic plus casual plus romantic or whatever it is. Try to find your style twin inside of there. Share what you've learned. You know, everything's better with an accountability buddy. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because I want to see you guys for this super fun giveaway. So since today's the first day and we haven't done homework and nothing like that, because we're gonna draw. So real quick, we're gonna draw your names out of the hat. My daughter's gonna help me. She does this every time. So everyone that goes in and answers the questions by tomorrow morning and participates in the chat or was here today, your names will go in a hat and we'll draw them out. And that's how we will win tomorrow's giveaway, which is going to be handmade lipstick from my lipstick sister. So I'm super excited about that. But today, who's going to get access to Sherry's Tapping from Fear to Freedom? It's her $77 course. I'm so grateful for her for sponsoring today and donating this to us. This hour went by super, super quick. So I want to try this. I've never done this before in Zoom. So like fingers crossed that this giveaway works. If not, I do have a backup trivia question. I think I might know who my winners are going to be, but okay. So I wanted to make this one fun and I wanted to bring some color into the game. So if you have on pink, I want you to keep your camera on and everybody else turn your camera off. We're all my pinks. Anyone wearing pink? And then this isn't working because then now everyone's pictures are on the screen. Yes, that's pink. Okay, so we have some people wearing pink. Okay, so now we're going to do color number 2. So who has on pink and green? Anyone wearing pink and green? I think, Danielle, are you not wearing pink and green?
I don't really see any green. It's
Oh.
like blue and
Okay,
yellow.
well, my Zoom is sucking.
Make green. So I
Okay,
don't
so
know.
Emma's still on. Selma's still on. Are you guys the only 2 wearing pink and green? Nobody has on pink and green? Okay. So I knew that this might not work, but I was hoping that maybe we could do that. Does anyone have on pink and red? You can turn on your camera. Nobody has on pink and red. Sorry, Kathleen. Is it red? It's burgundy red? I mean, I'm trusting you. Just red. Do you think you got it? Pink and red? Tiffany? Your lips are red, aren't they? All right, so we're going to do pink and red for you. You can be our winner today, Tiffany. Woo! So I will send your information over to Sherry, and then everybody else drop your homework for tonight inside of the Style Squad. It is to put in what your style is. Try to find your style twin. We're gonna put everybody's name in the hat tomorrow. We're gonna draw somebody out, so you don't have to wear any special colors or anything. I was just trying to do a fun game on Zoom to keep the energy high. And make sure that you participate all week long because everyone's name is going to go back in the hat on Friday. And on Friday, we're going to draw the winner for a free year inside of the Style Squad. So if you have any questions, in addition to like chatting up the homework, please drop them inside of the Style Squad. That is what the Style Squad is for. This is your squad to answer any of the questions that you have. Thank you so much, ladies, for day 1. Tomorrow, we will dive into body shape, silhouetting. We're going to talk about necklines and pants. So hopefully that will answer some of the questions and some of the things when we're looking at those images and silhouettes in our Pinterest board. 2 o'clock on the dot. Thank you, ladies, so much. Bye.